We return to Ladies Can We Talk with host Debbie Georgatos on 660 AM The Answer.
And welcome back to Ladies Can We Talk, and I'm going to jump right in because we have our guest in this segment on the line, Scott Ott. Hello, sir.
Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
Great. I'm so happy you're going to be on with us tonight. I mentioned a little bit to our listeners before you came on, but I just want to quick tell them before I want to have you, I hope, talk about this podcast number 8 that you did. That was, I thought, I had the same questions you did about it, but just for our listeners to understand, Scott Ott is, and he, along with 2 other people, really kind of, in my view, pioneered this new communication way for people who are political and online. It's a little more entertaining sometimes to watch a video and watch people go back and forth than to just read. And you 3, it is Bill Whittle and you and Steve Green, do PJ TV, PJ Media, and it's just so entertaining. And actually, I think you did a big 20-part series about the Constitution. Wasn't that your thing?
Yes. I wrote and starred in the Constitution series called Freedom's Charter, and that's available for subscribers and for purchase at pjtv.com. But Bill and Steve and I do this weekly show called Trifecta, and I say weekly, but it's actually multiple shows per week. We tape it once a week, and it's about the top news stories of the day. It's generally from a conservative/Republican/libertarian perspective, but I think we've got an interesting chemistry going on that allows us to be passionate and intense and serious and also humorous. And so there are a lot of laughs as well as a lot of very serious, intense moments on the show. And Trifecta is just one of the shows on pjtv.com, and there are a number of others that I'm sure many of your listeners would really enjoy.
I've mentioned my husband and I love all this. In fact, he'll text me in the morning. We both work out of our home, and his office is downstairs and mine's across the house. You got to go watch this one of one of your things. So we really, really enjoy all that you do. But you started now Scott Ott TV, and maybe I missed the beginning of it. How long have you been doing this Scott Ott TV? Online, but how long have you been doing that?
Well, we started, in part inspired by Bill Whittle, who has a weekly live streaming YouTube show called the Stratosphere Lounge, which you can just go and find Bill Whittle on YouTube. But I was inspired by him. I've always wanted to be like Debbie. I've always wanted to have a radio show, and so I'm totally serious. And so I thought, well, how can I do that? I don't have a radio station, and nobody in their right mind would hire me. And so I created this live streaming show on YouTube that we do every Thursday night at 6:30 Texas time, and we basically have a 90-minute show with a live chat room, so the people who are watching the show can actually, chime in and talk to each other and ask me questions and stuff like that. And then that's archived on YouTube, so you can go to my youtube.com/Scott Ott, and you can find all my shows so far. Out of that, Debbie, we created Scott Ott Podcast, which is now available on iTunes and anywhere that people listen to podcasts.
I just love it. I'm a little bit nerdy or wonky. I will read long reports. I love reading and highlighting. In fact, I'll usually choose the written part over the video because I want to make notes and highlight and draw arrows all over it. But really, for many, many people, to keep them entertained about the media, I can't commend you and your pals there enough about what you bring so much substance, and yet it's entertaining to listen to. And I agree, all 3 of you have a funny and just a great chemistry among the 3 of you.
It's a service we like to provide to the public, and you do the same thing. It is, I read the New York Times, so you don't have to.
There you go. Okay, well, I want to hit this one thing. I was so glad you spoke about it, because I had the same reaction. This was, I believe you're calling it podcast number 8. But it's about Muslim prophecy, and he basically said, should an apocalyptic Muslim prophecy, as President Obama suggests, restrain the U.S. from putting boots on the ground to defeat the Islamic State? I swear, I promise I didn't just learn it from you. I had the same reaction. We're going to decide America's foreign policy. President Obama, you think he used the term, well, that's just what they want us to do. I thought, who cares what they want us to do? I mean, tell our listeners what your whole podcast was. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, and it's oddly enough, it's no secret. I mean, the president has publicly proclaimed this, that we don't want to put boots on the ground in that area of Syria and Western Iraq because there is an apocalyptic Muslim prophecy that says when the Romans, and by the way, now we're the Romans, I guess we're all Romans now, when the Roman puts his boot on the ground in Dabiq, which is this city that's a town that still exists in Syria, that will be sort of the kickoff for the apocalyptic battle that will end with the victory of the Mahdi, which is their sort of messiah coming back, and the triumph of the caliphate. And so the president is I've never heard a commander-in-chief of the United States make this argument, but his argument is, look, they think if we put boots on the ground there that it's going to usher in the end times, which is, of course, what they want, and this will be a great boon to their recruiting effort because people will think the caliphate's being successful. So we're not going to do the thing that we know could actually crush the Islamic State because they believe that it would be the fulfillment of prophecy.
You know, it is simply, I'm stuttering, it's mind-blowing that we're even thinking what they're thinking about it all versus how do we win? And, you know, I think this is why Donald Trump's statement, this most recent controversy, I'm not particularly asking whether he's supporting him or not, and I'm not particularly, but his statement about, you know, no more Muslim refugees here, it's kind of people hear things that President Obama says, like you were just describing, and they're saying, where are the leaders who want the good guys to win? Where are they? And I think that's just really why people don't seem that bothered by what Donald Trump said.
Well, and it's kind of absurd to say because essentially what he's saying is it's not that there will be no troops on boots on the ground there. They just won't be United States boots on the ground. So we're going to put together this coalition of Arab states in the area, Muslim-dominated states in the area, and they're going to crush the Islamic State. I mean, wake up, dream boy. Do you really think that these people have fostered and helped the birth of the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda and these madrasas across the area and Saudi Arabian money building all these mosques around the world to foster this Wahhabism, this radical sect of Islam? And so, you know, it's insane to think that somehow they're all, you know, what is it, Yemen, Dubai, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates are going to get together with Hamas and run the Islamic State out of the area?
What could go wrong?
Oh, yeah. How could that possibly go wrong?
Oh, my gosh. I know. You know, I thought about you'd have a funny reaction to this. And I type about a minute and a half in this segment, but a minute in this segment. But didn't you think it was just amazingly ironic, or I don't know what word to use, but right after this whole concern about people, how many Muslims were letting in the country, whether we're going to have a problem with that or not, people started using the expression, that's not who we are. And, you know, even Dick Cheney used it. And, you know, I need to do a podcast about this, okay? Scott, do a podcast. What does that mean? I mean, seriously, what does that mean?
Who are we? I don't know what that means because that's not who I am. I'll tell you that. Because when I hear somebody say, well, that's not who we are. Now, what I think they're trying to appeal to is the American generosity that says we welcome your huddled masses to our teeming shores. And, you know, it's that Lady Liberty lifting her lamp beside that gate. And certainly we want to welcome these people, but we also have to be careful that we don't get killed. Absolutely.
Scott, I'm so sorry. We're right up to the end. Thank you so very much for calling in tonight. Great to have you.